Hey Fee! Hey Tracy! What should we do today? Let's watch this hit TV show with girls like you and me. It's it we really like, and best of all, it's free! Square Eyes are watching Geek Girl TV! Square Eyes are watching Geek Girl TV! Amstrad, Spectrum, you have the Binary, Apple, Mac, PC, Geek Girl TV! Television for the computer savvy.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Geek Girl TV. My theme song is created by The Days, which you can check out at myspace.com/TheDaysGirls. This is episode number, and since everyone knows that 42 is the geekiest natural number in base 10, fans have informed me that I really have to bring my A game this week. No time to waste. And as my first order of business, the Litors is going to introduce its very first super special elite status member, the Tech Viking from Sweden. Tech Viking writes, "If I were a superhero, I would be Tech Viking. Wearing a high-tech horned helmet and wielding my tech hammer, my superpower would be to be able to hit any technological item with my tech hammer to either make it work or break, like a one solution for any problem thing." Remember, for super special elite status, you have to include a picture or video. P.S. I attach a little homemade picture of the Tech Viking, but please don't make fun of it. I am artistically challenged and have a hard time drawing anything but stick figures. This picture I managed to put together with aid from the program Gimp. Welcome to the Litors, Tech Viking. And don't worry, I would never make fun of a Litor's artistic ability. We all only have a certain number of talent points to spend, and we must spend them wisely. In fact, I applaud the effort. And I applaud the use of the program Gimp. And since you're the first super special elite member, I am going to give the Tech Viking a complete makeover with a quick sketch of my own. I'd love to do a more refined drawing later, maybe even screen capture the Photoshop process. Or even better, experiment with Gimp. And speaking of Gimp, well, not really Gimp per se, because Gimp is the open source competitor to Photoshop. So if you can't afford Photoshop like 98% of the world's population, get Gimp. And although it has PC and Mac versions, it comes free by default on Ubuntu. Ubuntu is so amazing. That's what I really wanted to say. We installed it recently on an old PC here at work, and it is flippin' amazing. I definitely need to hook up an old PC with Ubuntu at home. And although I think I'm too much of a power user to ever be waned off the crack that is Microsoft products, I feel that Ubuntu gets me one step farther on my 12-step program. 42. I'm not even going to tell you what 42 is the answer to, because that's too easy. But Ian writes in and sends some other geeky facts about the number 42. For example, 42 is the name of a 10th Doctor Who episode, lasting 40 minutes with the storyline over the 42 minutes in real time. But this one's my favorite. In the Amazing Spiderman, number 42, Mary Jane Watson makes her first appearance. Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot! Ian writes, it's the final panel of the comic after Aunt May embarrassingly set Peter Parker up with a random friend's young female relation. Obviously, to his surprise, it's this beautiful redhead and his future wife. 42. So I'd like to tell you about the time that I actually got to hear Douglas Adams speak at a local bookstore upon the release of Starship Titanic. He was absolutely brilliant and told many anecdotal stories, and it's difficult to pick just one. But one person in the audience asked him what he thought about all the Y2K hullabaloo. This was about in 98 or 99, so the millennium hadn't changed yet. I believe he flatly stated that he thought the end of the world nonsense was being blown out of proportion, but he also stated that he was tired of being reminded by the prudes that the millennium actually changes the year 2001. Since there never was a year zero. His response, that since it's all abstract anyway, people weren't necessarily celebrating the new millennium, but the fact that all the little digits change. So you had a choice. Either you could celebrate the new millennium in the year 2000 with all the cool people, or be a real prude and abstain from those parties, and then celebrate it a year later with all your prude friends. He concluded by saying you might as well celebrate the millennium twice, once with the cool kids and later with the prudes, because hey, a party's a party. Here is a brief history of the life and works of Douglas Adams. he is probably most well known for The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is a trilogy of 5 books, beginning with The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and ending with Mostly Harmless. It was also made into a BBC radio series, a BBC television series, a video game, and of course, the recent movie. Next, there's the Dirk Gently novels. There are 2, Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency and Long Dark Tea Time for the Soul. Bureaucracy was another hilarious game from the mind of Douglas Adams about cutting your way through all the red tape. The most recent video game was Starship Titanic. The book was written by Terry Jones because the publisher insisted that the game and the book be released on the same date. Upon applying that he couldn't do such a wondrous feat, the publisher said, well, have it written by someone else. So he asked his dear friend. He also co-wrote 2 more books, including The Meaning of Lif, which is a dictionary for previously undefined words. And lastly, Last Chance to See, in which Douglas Adams travels the world in search of endangered species to write about them for future generations who won't have a chance to see for themselves. In fact, when he wasn't writing or on book tours placating guide fans, he was very active in the preservation of endangered species. He was born in 1952 in Cambridge, England, and then died an exceedingly untimely death of 49 in 2001. He left behind his loving wife and young daughter. One last tidbit, he always hated the Green Planet logo. Yeah, that one. The story goes that even after being published and receiving many awards and recognitions in England, he was still starstruck when an American publisher flew him to the United States to approve a U.S. run of the guide. As a young writer, he couldn't have been more excited until they revealed the brand new cover that they had designed, which was dominated by the goofy green planet with huge googly eyes. A little afraid of offending his host and jeopardizing his chance for fame and fortune, he timidly said, "It's great, but could you get rid of the big googly eyes?" And they said sure. When the book finally came out, to his horror, the goofy green planet was still there, only minus the googly eyes. And much to his disappointment, the goofy green planet soon became iconic of The Hitchhiker's Guide, at least in the United States. He had a very active role in the production of the Hitchhiker's movie before his death, in which you'll notice they replaced the goofy green planet logo with the thumbs up planet logo. In the news, Kevin Smith is going to be directing an episode of Battlestar Galactica. News: Kevin Smith is not directing an episode of Battlestar Galactica due to a reported scheduling conflict. He does, however, get to direct an episode of Heroes. He gets to direct it, write it, and create the new hero it features. So, Kevin Smith, I don't know if you've casted yet, but just in case you were interested, I don't think I would have any scheduling conflicts whatsoever. News. In other news, the delicious buttery smell from microwave popcorn can kill you. News. Abby Normal has a great site of some of the best links on the internet and was kind enough to feature me on the Geek page, which is number 5. So check it out at the following URL. Time for swag! I've launched my own line of geek t-shirts sponsored by Sticker Giant, which you can check out at stickergiant.com. T-shirt sales will help support the show and offset production costs. You gotta wear something. So help Geek Girl thrive for years to come and look great doing it. And don't forget to tell your friends or blog readers where you got it. That's all for this week, but don't forget to send your questions and comments to geekgirl@clevermedia.com.